afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda here of the Reich, Defender of the Fatherland, here to Leon. Here's another glorious Propagandacast, a 1 vs 1. It shall be a Monday novice fight, so of course, this will not be a high-level play, and anyone going in, well, this was an obviously, not the greatest players playing. Well, you kinda missed the point, and you probably ought to be deeply ashamed of yourselves. I mean, they keep appearing, and every time I have to go, well, what were you expecting, man? It's mind-baffling. Anyways, we shall be watching Slonek fighting for the Panzer Elite, fighting for the 10th SS Panzer Division, Hohenstaufen, and opposing him shall be Captaincowhat, fighting for the Commonwealth, fighting for the 1st Infantry Division. We are seeing an infantry section moving towards west. We are seeing a recce section on move there. No lieutenants are starting out with, so as soon as these chaps leave here, I mean, they are going to be moving slow. In fact, we're seeing the lieutenant out third. I mean, this is, again, not perhaps the most optimal start out with the British. In fact, it tends to be pretty much get a lieutenant out, move the truck towards a point to secure that, then get another infantry section. In the meanwhile, we are seeing 2 Panzer Gunner squads following up on a Kettenkraut. I mean, again, usually as the Panzer Elite, the more efficient one initially is to get 2 Kettenkrauts, then take a lot of territory, and then sort of move on towards dealing with the British. But in this case, Slonek seems to be taking a lot more. Well, how does one say it, Kev? Leslie? I can't remember the words right now. Damn it. But there we go, Lieutenant out, truck still there. First engagement, no give air 43 by the way for any of the Panzers. There we go, sniper shot, but notice here what Captaincowhat is doing. What is he doing? If your answer was he's not moving towards cover, you're correct. You don't win anything, but you're definitely showing you're learning. In this case, I mean, right here we are in fact seeing an infantry section out in the bloody open. Finally though, it does move away, but that definitely should not have been standing out that much in the open. And usually, I mean, let's just briefly pause. He started out with a recon shot. You can do that, but usually the more clever thing is to actually wait until the Panzer Grenadiers is down to 1 man. You stay within range, then you take off the shot. So even if he tries to retreat, he will most likely lose that squad. That tends to be a slightly more efficient use of, well, a recon shot right there. Just a little suggestion for the more novice British players. And again, the lieutenant moving forwards. He should not be advancing first. We are seeing an infantry section though moving up to flank, but again, why was the lieutenant not supporting that one so that could move faster again? Infantry sections move slower without the supervision of a lieutenant. That's pretty much British play 101. But so far, Captaincowhat seems to be going, what are you talking about? And we are seeing incendiary grenades now getting locked. We are seeing, though, a squad again, too slow in retreating as the Panzer Elite. You do need to be a bit sharper on retreating, in particular when fighting off against the Brits. And there we go. A very small amount of Panzer Grenadiers make it out of the fight right there. And he even retreats a third one completely. The others just seeing their comrades go, run, Heinz, run, I'm not going in there. Either way, alright engagement there for Captaincowhat. He did suffer a bit. Again, better cover usage would have benefited a bit better. Though he now needs to move out and actually take some territory. Take away some of Hans's Boden. And looks like one there is posing for the camera. More Panzer Grenadier squads arriving. He went for incendiary grenades, which explains why no give air 43s. And likely he's going to be trying to push some sort of advantage out of it. A bit dubious. Again, give air 43s tend to be a good initial upgrade. And of course, these troops here need to be careful. They are low on health. Very low on health, and they are 4 men. Some Panzer Grenadiers could quickly take them out. And we are seeing a 3rd section on the way for Captaincowhat and the 1st Infantry. Panzer Grenadiers on the move. The squad reinforced, and there we go. Troops out in the open. Again, pull into cover, Captaincowhat, or get out of there. In this case, I would recommend getting out of there, since the infantry section is very low in health. And there are quite a few Panzer Grenadiers. In fact, now he's losing more men. Which, of course, besides having to spend manpower on reinforcing those, and they are expensive to reinforce, will also, of course, be giving kills and thus experience to the... Get the lieutenant out of there. I mean, if you're attaching him, which is alright, but again, then always be sure to retreat the lieutenant individually.
I say again, we are losing a victory.
The Panzers continue. The infantry section makes to be looking a dash for a house, hoping to hide for the Hun, or from the Hun. And meanwhile, central victory point be secured. Kettenkraut now shifting towards the west. Troops are reinforcing. A casualty clearing station would be an excellent move while he's waiting to get stuff done. Instead, he's getting a field support job. And again, casualty clearing station. Get it up. get some healing out. That is definitely going to help, in particular the lieutenant, who is very much wounded. Infantry moving out there. Where's the recce section? Why is it not aiding in the fighting against the Krauts, the Huns, the Jerry, the Bosch, the Verdigris? We are seeing the infantry moving out in the open. Again, no cover, standing in the middle of the road. And again, roads, negative cover, meaning you're easy to hit, you take more damage. Not really good infantry action currently going on for Captaincowhat, and definitely needs to work on his bleeding cover usage. Another incendiary grenade getting lobbed at Captaincowhat, forcing me out of cover, which is a good tactic, of course, in using the incendiary grenade. And again, now note, no cover at all for Captaincowhat. His infantry are taking heavy losses. They need to retreat. And finally, we do see the recce section moving up to flank, but no, it's actually pulling up in front of the heavy cover. I mean, really? You had the chance to move in there and hit them for a point where they would have been exposed. Instead, you move in front of it, Captaincowhat. What are you thinking? Not really solid play right there. That was definitely a mistake, and I bet good old Winston will be most disappointed in Captaincowhat's performance right there. And that was definitely a good bunch of British boys who just died right there a bit senselessly, only killing a few Panzer Grenadiers usually. And again, this is an important lesson. You do not want to be attacking an infantry squad in heavy cover only from the front, in particular Panzer Grenadiers, in particular also when it involves you getting out into the bloody open, which Captaincowhat, apparently being some sort of free-minded spirit, likes being out in the open, but seems to forget cover saves lives. And again, that's pretty much one of the most important things, which I apparently have to repeat for the novices. Cover is important. Cover means something, and flanking cover is good. For example, again here, the recce section should have moved towards here, taking up position there, thus firing down towards here, where there would have been no cover for the Panzers, meaning they'd had been in a lot of trouble. And this, again, position here, heavy cover, meaning the recce section would have been in a much better position, but no. Instead, Slonek was pretty much given a lot of experience right there. Still no casualty station, though we do see a field support truck up there. Note, very little territory left, because again, Captaincowhat is not really having much success in his frontal assaults, again, prepared positions. Without flanking it all on them. Oh, laying down a telemine to tank destroy doctrine. We did see the Panzer squad get wiped out, so that's definitely a good reason. And again, Captaincowhat, cover, cover, and don't take points while you're in the open again. Cover! Really? Cover! It's right there, mate! I mean, this is not really good performance. And again, he's moving out. He's ignoring the cover. Oh my goodness. And there we go, incendiary grenades when he finally moves into some cover. And of course, his troops will be taking quite a few casualties, because again, he's sticking to the road, meaning, of course, easier targets and more damage. I mean, this so far is turning out to be an excellent episode on why you use cover. Panzer is running to prom, and already one squad has gained veterancy. Although it's also been losing a few men. And the Brits continue to lose. Although we do see some rifle grenades, which will help a bit against the Hun in cover, which is definitely a good, more positive move. And we finally also see a captain being sent towards the west to finally take some territory away from the Hun. We do see a mortar half track up, and I mean, that's actually a bit of an odd move from Slonek. I mean, he must be imagining, of course, his opponent will be getting vehicles, and he's currently not doing anything that can really help against it except telemines. And there we go, another infantry squad or section down for Captaincowhat. Again, he's slow in retreating and really not good in taking cover. And currently, though Slonek again should not be too happy about himself, he's currently only got a single bleeding telemine to hold off any sort of British armoured advance. That's not really a good plan. That tends to be sort of ranked amongst poor plans. Hey, look, Heinz, I know how to stop the British armor. Oh, really? How? I will just mine this road with a single mine. They will never see it coming. Yes, but if they attack from elsewhere? Shut up, Helmut. Now the captain doesn't even seem to be bothering taking territory, probably. So that means Captaincowhat is not paying much attention. And of course, again, very little territory going on for Captaincowhat. And again, I mean, another way he could have been dealing with this is, you know, just move up elsewhere, take an attack up from elsewhere, and again ignore the strong point, attack them, and force them to attack you. I mean, there's so many ways that Captaincowhat could have done this better, and so far he's pretty much chosen the least effective methods. Still no casualty station going out for Captaincowhat, although we do see a Stuart light tank bleeding well, finally up for the man. Infantry half check out to Slonek, apparently really not thinking that there's ever going to be a chance of a Stuart light tank appearing. And the good old captain needs to retreat. There we go, the Stuart light tank on the move. The Stuart was quite often used in Lend-Lease. Not only the British saw it, but so did the Soviets. And there we go, the infantry half tank coming under fire, 30cm gun, firing away, getting a nice hit on the infantry half tank and its occupants, and sets in for a pursuit while the infantry half tank tries to maneuver through the very small hills with trees on them. And we are now seeing the Panzerschreck upgrade on the way. Come on, Stuart, move it, move it. Apparently Captaincowhat seems to get a bit confused by the trees or something. Brits, on the other hand, are moving, finally choosing a slightly different path. That's something. Still no casualty station. Would it benefit them? There we go. Panzer's coming under fire from the Stuart light tank. Stuart light tank securing a kill. Getting another poor Kraut bastard. And poor Fritz is forced to run. Wishing he hadn't eaten that much sauerkraut the morning before. Flak feeling opening up on the Stuart light tank. They were not having much luck with the frontal armor. And we do see a leichte Panzerspähwagen, the scout Karat for Slonek, though only equipped with the machine gun. It looks like it's going to get spotted by the Stuart. And now we do see a lot of units standing about doing nothing again. Another good suggestion is, again, don't have units standing about doing nothing. Always be on the move or be doing something like laying down defenses, anything. Just don't have troops like, say, 2 squads and an officer doing absolutely bollocks. At the same time, we do see Slonek moving up with 2 squads of Panzer Grenadiers, and we see increased Panzer Strikes, and we see increased squad sizes as well. Offensive veterancy, looking very nasty, and they are on the move. Come, Edelbert. We have eine Panzer zu stellen. And there we go. We are seeing the infantry section moving in. But he's blobbing it up. He knows he's up against a Stuart light tank, so he could risk a counter shot, which is a bit of an odd move again for a Panzer player to willingly do that in front of a Stuart. There's so far nothing seems to happen. Of course, never forget the Bren gun. The Bren gun is very, very nasty and can tear through your infantry. A lot of players seem to forget. And there we go. Panzer actually dropped, anti-caught by the Bren gunners. Oh dear. That was definitely a very poor move by Slonek. I mean, sending in 2 squads, I mean, despite increased squad sizes, and then letting them stand out in the open while they were under fire from a Bren gun again. Negative cover makes one hell of a difference. One hell of a difference. And again, the Bren gunners really just had a field day right there, scoring a lot of kills. And that was definitely not solid play right there by Slonek, and easily could have been avoided, at least if he just retreated faster. But again, you know, that is a part of unit preservation. Sometimes just being able to see a fight emerging and then realizing there is no chance in hell I can win this, I'd best retreat. And these gents need to get out of there, as we do see the mortar attack moving up. And we are seeing assaults, grenadiers coming out, Sturmgewehrs, and popping some into the half-tack. Taking them along for the ride. Stuart moving out, needs to be a bit foresight. And there we go, mortar half-tack now getting assaulted right there. Still no major advance going on for the British. They need to be careful and get close to that telemine, but at least now we do see that Captaincowhat is actually gaining some territory. Oh, he didn't finish off the scout. Oh, never mind. And looks like poor Walter went down as the telemine went off. What we get for standing too close to the mine, so you can just get that much better an aim. But now, of course, I mean, Captaincowhat has forced his opponent on the field, but again, there's so many units standing about doing nothing. He could easily have been taking a lot more territory, yet that's not quite happening, and again, that's an absolute mess. Although we do now see an armor command track going up for Captaincowhat, Will he actually be taking advantage of it? I mean, an early Cromwell right now could be absolutely devastating against Slonek. Again, Slonek is pretty much very vulnerable to any sort of armor. And again, supporting that Stuart with a Cromwell would prove to be very devastating. And I mean, even a Panzerstrike squad or two would have a problem with a Cromwell. And instead we see a glider going down. That of course is a lot of manpower which could have gone towards, you know, a Cromwell tank. Let's just briefly check if you actually have the fuel for it. He's very close to having it anyways. But nope, instead we are going commandos. And I fear that shall not work out well for Captaincowhat, as we've already seen his infantry management skills definitely need a lot of work.
Go ahead, Commander, we are ready.
But we do see the Panzer Gunners on the move. Tank busters hiding in the half-track. Stuart light tank not getting repaired. No sappers from Captaincowhat. That's a bit of an off thing, I'd say. More mortar fire. Stuart moving out. Needs to be careful. Panzer Gunner down. Stuart on the hunt for the Hun. Counter shot there, not quite working out. But there we go. Oh, tank buster. Get out of there, Stuart. Get out of there. Panzer's moving straight at the commandos. A grenade right around here as the Panzer's advance would be nice, but no, that did not happen. Commandos need to, in fact, consider moving out there, but no. And we do see that the Panzerstrike continues the hunt for the Stuart. The Stuart needs to wait. And again, if there had been a Cromwell, the half-track and its occupants would have been in much more trouble. There we go, Stuart down. Commandos need to get out of there. Oh, they also went down. Again, Captaincowhat needs to be faster in retreating units. He needs to be faster in realizing this is not going to go well for me. I need to get out of there. But it never quite seems to happen, and now he's making another mistake, which is moving up close to gentlemen equipped with assault rifles when his own men are equipped with bolt action rifles. That's about as bad as it gets. And the infantry section up here again could have been assisting in the fight, but is doing other things. Again, you know, coordinate. Incendiary grenades on the recce section. It needs to get out of there. Still no casualty link station going up there. Captaincowhat's Bren section moving up with the Panzerschreck. Need to be able to choose his position carefully. And still no Cromwell or anything like that on the way from Captaincowhat. More commandos. Again, get some armor up, you silly person.
We are losing a sector.
And there we go. First infantry supported by commandos on the move. Going out against Jerry. Only one squad of assault gunners. Again, don't move too close. Just use the Bren gunners where they work, in particular with the lieutenant in support of Veteran 2. Though again, casualty station is very much needed. That lieutenant is very low on health. Very low. It looks like the Brents. Yes, there we go. Again, be careful about automatic weapons. And again, casualty station. I cannot repeat how Captaincowhat needs a casualty station, and he needs some medic packs being handed out from there so he can actually begin healing his troops. Otherwise, I mean, he's going to lose that Vet 2 lieutenant, and that's going to be a huge blow for Captaincowhat and the 1st Infantry. But we do see an advance up there, although again, lots of Panzers advancing. Stand still, get a grenade in their path, or retreat now. Retreat, retreat! Get out of there, Captaincowhat! Get out, dear, you're much too slow. You're much too slow. I mean, had that been an oncoming car and you were caught in the middle of the road, you'd been wrecked. You'd been, well, dead. Because you'd only run when he was right a few inches from you. And there we go, Commander Squad lost now, and he's getting a Tetrac. Why do you get a Tetrac when you could have gotten a Cromwell? I mean, it's an absolute bizarre set of actions that Captaincowhat is all of a sudden taking. Considering, again, he has much better options within his armored command track. I mean, he got it. He's expended resources on it, but he's not using it. I mean, that's not good at all. That is usually what you call bad. And we do see Captaincowhat's infantry moving up against the Bren guns against the tank busters. That's definitely going to work out a bit. But Slonek is getting back on his feet despite some grave mistakes of his own. And again, unit preservation, again in particular when you're around Bren gunners, it can end up very ugly when the Bren gunners are allowed to shoot on your retreating men. And again, casualty clearing station could also have helped with the infantry losses. Again, if you're a novice, if you're having trouble with keeping your troops alive, again, stuff like a medic station, medic bunker, or casualty station can help mitigate your losses and perhaps keep you in the fight longer. And again, as the Brits, a casualty station is vital because again, it also provides your only source of healing, and that lieutenant needs healing. Time for the mid-game analysis. Tetrak moves in, gets a half-track. By the looks of it, it was the mortar half-track which went down. But the Brits have, made some good ground. They're taking some things, but again, overall, there's some huge problems for Captaincowhat in keeping his units alive. No casualty station. And again, he went for Tetraks. There was no reason to go for Tetraks when he had an armoured command truck, which could have given him Cromwells, which would have done the job infinitely better. Again, a few Cromwells at this stage could pretty much have just pulverized Slonek, who would have been utterly unprepared for it, although now he's getting armadas, of course. In that case, this Tetrax are definitely going to be in trouble if he's not careful. So, Captaincowhat needs Cromwells, he needs a Cromwell command tank, he needs to consider getting Fireflies. Also, he needs to use his infantry better, and he needs a casualty station. Slonek, on the other hand, also needs to work on his unit preservation, and he needed something like Armada earlier. On the other hand, he's gone Tank Destroyer, so Hetzers would be an infinitely better choice. It should have been gotten earlier. Could also have been used to pretty much pummel Captaincowhat into the ground rather soundly. There are a lot of things in, of course. Slonek needs to be careful about blobbing up. Again, he could risk very much easily taking some heavy losses. So, there you go, and let us return to the fight. And the Tetrak needs to get out of there. Instead, it ends up moving closer to the gentleman with the Panzerschreck. And, of course, exposing the rear to the flak failing. Pretty bad move right there by Captaincowhat, mildly put. Though, not a huge surprise at this stage, I suppose. Now we do now see the Marder 3 ready for Slonek. Tetrak trying to get out of there. The Tetrak was in fact a glider tank, one of the few. There was another one which came later in the war but never really saw uses. That was the M22 Locust. But the Tetrak did to use it some bits here and there, but not overall an awful lot. And there we go, Panzer Grenadiers on the run. And there we go, full assault from a rifle block. Stop up! And let's just briefly pause here again. Captaincowhat made another mistake, and that is getting called light machine guns. What do you do with them to get them to fire? You stand still. What did Captaincowhat do on the other hand? He did not issue a stop order. He moved closer. You do not do that. You order the men to stop and get them firing. Same applies with the LMG-42s. Again, stop, shoot, or get the bloody hell out of there. Instead, he allowed the assault rifles to close even further on him, and he could very much risk losing a lot of infantry right here. Let's see. One section looks to be going down at the very least. There we go. One Brent section. In fact, he had 3 Brent sections. 2 Brent sections gone. And 3 Brent sections utterly lost. Again, because Captaincowhat decided to charge straight at 3 squads with assault rifles with his Brent sections and not order them to stop and shoot before they got too close, or at least retreat them earlier again. Captaincowhat needs to work out what he wants to do with his Brent guns, how they work, and he also needs to learn how to fight the enemy. And again, how Brent guns, of course, work, and also again, how and when to retreat, because again, Captaincowhat does not seem to do that. Again, lost the Tetrak rather senselessly. He's going to lose another one, so in that sense, Captaincowhat has just been dealt a crippling blow. He's just lost 3 infantry sections. That is huge. He's lost 2 Tetraks now. That is bad. All he's got left is the lieutenant, who was not even in the assault. Again, no healing, no casualty station. There's the captain left, and there's still the recce section operating. And of course, now we see Yak Panthers getting prepared for Slonek. And again, still nothing from the armoured command truck. There's really so many things here going wrong for Captaincowhat, and it's largely his own fault, to put it mildly. And now we are seeing Piets out for the sappers. Seems a bit pointless at the moment. course, now the question becomes, what will Captaincowhat do now? And what will Slonek do? Of course, I mean, Slonek can basically just move straight at the opponent. He knows probably where there's some things are and destroy them quite soundly. All a bit quiet. And there we go, the Yak Panther out. Largely saw service only on the Western Front. It was only until February 1945 that even saw action on the Eastern Front. It was basically a Panther chassis with a sloped armor front, still 80mm, and a high-velocity 88mm gun, as seen on the King Tiger and the Elephant and the Nashorn. Very devastating thing, very nasty, and quite effective as a tank destroyer. So, a little fun fact there. And now we do finally seeing a crumble out for Captaincowhat. That should have been there earlier, but of course now it's way too bloody late. Now he's facing off not against the Marder Flea, but the Yak Panther. Of course, he doesn't know of the Yak Panther yet, but he knows about the Marder Flea. There we go, Cromwell moving in. At least he's not trying to just stand still in front of it. That's a small thing. Of course, he needs to keep it up. He might want to consider flanking speed. Of course, he could try and flank speed right into this blob and just crush as many of them. And again, Captaincowhat seems to be reacting very slowly. Although he did get the Marder, he lost the Cromwell, which is actually more expensive, and he certainly did not get as many casualties out of this as he could have. So, definitely not looking good for Captaincowhat right there, and I actually think it is time to have a look at him. I actually might have slightly forgotten about that. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Now, we are seeing the command tank on the way. Of course, he knows now he needs a Firefly, which is certainly not the wrong assumption. The Lieutenant needs to get out there again. Little health left, and he's veterancy too. He should not be lost. Leftenant Jones, though, does not complain. He just keeps fighting. The sappers are going down. And there we go. The Lieutenant is down. Captain down. Sappers down again. Captaincowhat is incredibly slow to retreat any of his units. I'm not entirely sure why that is.
German forces are trying to overrun one of ours is being overrun.
But there we go. Both gliders are gone. And now the field support truck is the one threatened. We are seeing now finally the Firefly coming up. We are seeing the Yak Panther crushing the glider beneath its mighty weight. And taking up targets on the field support truck. Continue blobbing up for Slonek. Again, he needs to be careful about that. That could be exposed in a brutal, well, exploited in a brutal manner by any clever player. A bit of commando artillery, for example, could very much cause some Panzer League players to cry right there. But speeding things up, not a lot really going on. Captaincowhat immediately losing a lot of the territory he had once gained, calling a lot of artillery. Doing a bit of damage to Slonek's Yak Panther. Slonek is sitting about repairing it, and there we go, Firefly ready, and now he's getting another Cromwell. Oh well. Just thinking about the wreckage section over there. Captaincowhat advancing up. Infantry half-tack slightly at the rear. And there we go. Kettencrat down. The British armour is on the move. And the Firefly should not be leading the column. It has a huge range. Use that in a slightly more sensible fashion. Don't move in front of the Yak Panther. Don't move in front of the Yak Panther. Oh dear. And he does that. He moves straight in front of the Yak Panther, right where you do not want to be fighting a Yak Panther. That is where the Yak Panther wants to be fighting you. And he should be focusing Cromwell perhaps on at least getting some of those Panzer Grenadiers, but that does not happen either. And he should have been kept on moving. He should have got behind it. He should have flanked it. Instead, Cromwell down. And we could likely see the Firefly go down very much next. And there we go. Firefly out of control. That was just a waste of armor. And we see Veterancy 1 gained for the Yak Panther. And barely any units left at all for Captaincowhat. Command tank though escapes. Panzer Grenadiers running straight into the Vickers machine gun emplacement. More artillery getting called in straight on the Yak Panther. Actually dealing quite a bit of damage. Another Firefly out for Captaincowhat. And of course, note the range it has. I mean, it can really fire from far away. Far away. Really much entire screen away. Note there, that is really, you know, an example of the range. Again, it is huge compared to other tanks and company of heroes. And that is in fact what a lot of British players forget. And in particular also forget in conjunction with the command tank. I mean, again, a veteran command tank with a few Fireflies at range can absolutely devastate German armor. And I mean devastate it. But again, at this stage it seems too late. Barely anything left for Captaincowhat. He's lost a lot of infantry, a lot of armor, and in many cases quite senselessly, and absolutely given Slonek this match by this stage. And another section went down again, too slow in retreating Captaincowhat. Telemines going down left and right. Speeding up again because, well, this is a bit of a not much happening.
Unknown number of enemy are moving on one of our victory points.
Infantry section moving up. Another crumble on the way. And we do see a heads up for Slonek. Not that there were any heads in Normandy. They came much later to the Western Front, about the time of the fighting in the Ardennes. But there we go. They are here. Firefly needs to focus it down. Nice hit there on the Hetzer, but might want to consider moving away so it's not an easy target for the Hetzer. Panzergun is moving up with Panzerschreck again. Get out of range, get out of range. Cromwell takes a hit. Come on, Captaincowhat, engage this in a sensible manner. And there we go. Hetzer does go out of control, crashing into one of the crashed railway truck cars, whatever. And destroyed engine on the Firefly. That Firefly's definitely going to go down, although we could perhaps see that Captaincowhat once more gets a bit too greedy. There we go. He might be moving his Panzergunners out in the open, making them easy targets. There we go. One squad moving out through the open. And there we go. One squad down, the other moves up. Gets the Firefly out of control, but he's actually continuing to remain there. Down to 2 men. Oh dear, Slonek, you're getting greedy, And there we go, again, losing 2 squads because, again, he gets too greedy. He thinks he can get away with it. And, oh well, and there we go, the Firefly's gone. Another huge loss to Captaincowhat. And now at this stage, when he should be pushing, he's instead expending a lot of resources into fresh infrastructure, into fresh units to get stuff built. Instead of just getting more units, he just needs to push forwards. But speeding this up a bit again. Looking over to Slonek. The Cromwells moving right, going in after that scout car. The scout car definitely not meant to fight that.
We can completely destroy the enemy.
Field support truck setting up. And then what? He's calling in a glider. He's calling in a headquarters glider? Why? You don't really have anything to use that for. I mean, that just quite frankly seems mind-boggling that he would expend resources again on more buildings. He needs troops, he needs men, he needs armor. He does not need a headquarters glider. That is the last thing he could ever need at this stage of the fight. He needs to get out of there. He needs to fight. He needs to take points. He does not need to delay that. He cannot afford it. He's got less than 100 victory points. Not good at all. Panzergunners again. We do finally see Captaincowhat reacting in a snappy manner and actually getting his troops out of there before it is too late. Yes, what joys the new Panzerschreck will bring. Except there's not many Panzers left to strike with. Still no sappers for that matter. Well, speeding this up.
The enemy has 50 points
A
left.
bit short of a Monday novice fight, but at least a lot of things to point out. And there you go, GG. Captaincowhat has realised he's pretty much painted himself in a corner.
The enemy has only 25 points remaining.
I had it for a while, but you overwhelmed me with infantry. Well, not quite, in fact. He didn't so much overwhelm you as you rather just threw away units. And basically, I mean, this match came down to unit preservation, cover, and, you know, poor resource expenditure. I mean, again, unit preservation was terrible from both players. In fact, sometimes they just got too greedy, but other times they just didn't know when to retreat in time. Again, cover. Don't stand out in negative cover. Don't stand out in negative cover. Use cover again. Definitely a huge problem for Captaincowhat in the initial fights of the game. I mean, really lost a lot of men pointlessly on that. Pointlessly. And he just kept at it again. Also, you know, Bren guns. Shoot when they're standing still. Don't advance towards advancing troops with assault rifles. Again, stand still and shoot the Bren guns. Again, do not move into their line of fire. And again, retreat in time. Also, don't engage a Yak Panther from the front. And again, you know how to expend resources. Get a casualty station and keep your troops healed. He lost the veterans to Lieutenant pointlessly. There's so many other things to point out, but I'll refrain because otherwise this episode will be taking a few hours. And nah, not quite, but still. I think those were the main points, so hope you learned something from this match. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane, saying cheers.